Choosing the right niche as a new real estate investor is crucial for your success. Now, your niche should be aligned with your interests, your expertise, local market conditions. Basically, what do you think you're going to be good at? And the key is to realize that you can't do everything. And the best thing for you to do is to pick one and get really, really good at it. So, big picture, what could we get invested in? So, your niche could be as broad as single family homes, and you're going to turn those into rentals, but you then need to niche it down. Are you doing short-term rentals like Airbnb, medium-term rentals like traveling nurses or traveling professionals, or long-term rentals, 12-month, 24-month leases, the type of thing where a family would live for a long period of time? You can also do multifamily real estate investing, such as duplexes, quadplexes, apartment buildings. All of those tend to be a little more longer, but you can also do short-term, medium-term terms on those. Absolutely. You could also do commercial real estate investing. Now we're talking shopping malls, restaurants, strip malls, self-storage facilities, any one of those. You could also do land and farm. Vacant land is an incredible investment opportunity. You can buy the land and sell it to a developer, or you could even be the developer yourself. All of these are great things that investors do. You could also be like the folks on HGTV and do a fix and flip, or you wholesale. What is a wholesaler? That's the person who sources the deals and sells them to the fix and flippers or the real estate investors for a fee. It's a lot of work, but it works. It's another type of investing. And then we get into the financing portion of investing, such as syndicating deals where you put a deal together and you raise money from all of your friends, family, relatives, and people you know, accredited or unaccredited investors, and you put the money together either in a company for this one deal or maybe into a fund for multiple deals. It depends. Or you can be one of those people that invests with others. I have lots of friends who are syndicators, and sometimes I take my clients and I say, hey, I think you should go look at this, talk to this syndicator, and maybe you just invest your normal money, IRA, 401k, into a real estate deal through these folks. Great idea. And then you can get into some more really niche markets, such as student housing, or maybe mobile home parks, or even senior living facilities. So first off, residential single family homes, the most common starting point for new investors. You buy the home, you renovate it, and then you either flip it, sell it to a new homeowner, or you turn it into a rental property for yourself. Maybe down the line, you refinance it and get your money back out and repeat it. It's called the BRRRR strategy, which we'll talk about in another video for long-term real estate investors. When it comes to multifamily, the prices tend to go up. The per unit cost tends to go down. The cost to manage the property tends to go down a little bit because they're all under one roof, right? You tend to get a lot more professional investors into the multifamily space, especially in the larger apartment buildings. But it's a great place to start. There's no reason that a new investor can't actually start with apartment buildings. Absolutely. The biggest hurdle, a lot of people think, is actually raising the money, but that's not true. The biggest hurdle is finding the deal, because if you've got a good enough deal, you're going to find the money. That is the easy part. If the deal's good enough, you'll find the money. I have found plenty of deals where I said, this is a deal, and nobody would give me money to help. It's not that good a deal. Nobody saw it but me. All right. But that's okay. That's moving on. That's another story. And then we get into commercial real estate. And this includes office buildings, retail spaces, warehouses, things like that. And commercial real estate can really offer higher returns. It does require more capital, sometimes more experience. The terms are different. Matter of fact, as a licensed agent, you're either commercial or residential. In most cases, very few people do both because they are rather unique. That said, being a landlord for a commercial space a lot of times is a lot easier for a multitude of reasons. The biggest is that the tenant pays for everything. So a lot of times if you have a triple net lease, the only thing the landlord's paying for is basically the building and the loan. And after that, the taxes, insurance, upkeep, maintenance, utilities, everything goes on the tenant. What a great deal. And oh, by the way, you don't have to worry about, the fact that, I lost my job. I can't pay the rent, and they're pulling on your heartstrings. It's not a family. You're not putting kids on the street when you kick out your tenant when it's a commercial space. If it's a vape shop They can't pay their bills. Get rid of them. Go put somebody else in there, a nail salon or something, right? So it's a lot different when it comes to commercial real estate. Great place to start if you're a real estate investor is commercial real estate. A lot of folks really want to get involved with short-term real estate investing. Short-term rentals like Airbnb, VRBO, things like that. It is a great opportunity. I will tell you that we personally are not right now. We're not investing in those, not because I don't want to, merely because the laws of the local, the city council can change the laws of the local area pretty much at whim, and it can change quickly. So if you find a deal and it only works as a short-term rental and not as a long or medium term, you want to be really careful. I've seen a few where I said, hey, that'll work as a medium-term rental, and maybe that's the case, but we just haven't decided to pull the trigger because we said that's not what we focus on. That's not our business model, because we have our niche, right? That said, it may be yours. There are a lot of people who find great success with Airbnb, VRBO. Matter of fact, if you have just 4 successful Airbnbs, you are probably set for life. That's all you need. It's actually incredibly lucrative if you do it well. All right, that's the key. Next up, wholesaling. We talked about that. Wholesaling's a little bit different. What that is let's say that I'm looking for, we've all gotten them, the little postcards in the mail saying, we want to buy your house. We buy houses. We buy ugly houses. Those are wholesalers. And what they're going to do is they're going to call you and they're going to say, we got a cash offer. And they may not. They're going to offer you $150,000 for your $300,000 house. And it may be a good deal for you because whatever your motivations are, it may be a total wreck and you need to close today because you're facing foreclosure or something. And that may actually be the best course for you. That's great. No problem. A lot of times what that wholesaler does is then says, I have it under contract to buy your house in the next 21 days for this price. And they'll go find an investor with a whole bunch of cash and say, hey, do you want this? I got it for 150. I'll sell it to you for for $10,000. And so they go, okay. So now the investor buys it for 150, pays that wholesaler $10,000 and pays the homeowner 150,000. Boom, they just bought it for 160, right? The homeowner still gets the 150. The wholesaler gets the money from the investor side. All right. So wholesalers, they spend a lot of time with direct mail, door knocking, making phone calls. In reality, they're a lot like real estate agents looking for listings. It's the same thing. They're just different types of listings. Okay. That's what a wholesaler is. And who's the wholesaler client? The wholesaler's client is the real estate investor. Real estate syndication. A little bit more complicated. Imagine that I see an apartment complex and it's selling for $10 million. I know that I'm going to need to put down, let's say $3 million plus have another reserve of, let's say $1 million. That means I need $4 million up front and I can finance the other 6. Well, I can go to the bank, get a loan for $6 million for a $10 million property. No problem. I'm going to line up a property management company, a contractor. I'm going to have everything set up. Oh, by the way, it's probably in a different town, right? I live in Virginia Beach. It might be in Dallas. Okay. That's okay because this is a business deal. And so I have to raise $4 million for this $10 million property. I got a $6 million loan. I got all these people are going to work for me. I got to raise my $4 million. I pick up the phone and I start calling my friends and family and say, hey, I got a great deal for you. How would you like to invest with me? My initial buy-in is $50,000 or $100,000, and I'm going to pay you some percentage. And that may be a quarterly distribution. It may be a semi-annual or monthly distribution. And then you'll have junior and senior shares where you may or may not be involved with capital appreciation. And then 3 to 5 years from now, you're probably going to sell that property or refinance it, pay off your investors, and maybe you keep it for yourself or you just sell it to the next person. That's syndication. And if you do that, it's pretty involved. It's a really neat way to do the business. It's pretty cool. On the other side, how about all those people that were giving money? If you've got $100,000, you go say, I want to invest in real estate. I want to have a really good return. Go find a syndicator who has a good track record. And you're probably going to find that that's a great use of your money because you are probably a professional. You've got your own job. You got your own W-2 income. You want to, you don't want to deal with leaky toilets, right? You want to just write a check and get money in your mailbox. All right, we'll call a syndicator, write him a check. He'll put it in there. You can use your IRA money. You can use 401k money. You can do all sorts of things with it. You give that guy the money, and every quarter he pays you a little dividend. And then after 3 to 5 years, you get all that money back plus some extra return. What a great deal! So it's such a great deal that a lot of times people say, just roll it into the next one. Where's the next deal? Hey, I got some money. Where can I give it to you? Right? And that happens a lot for the syndicators. Once they start showing a track record, people just they can't get the deals fast enough. All right. How about fix and flip? So we've all seen the shows on HGTV, right? So you go out, maybe you buy a beat up old house through a real estate agent, or maybe you do it from a wholesaler, or maybe you do it yourself. And you spend a few $1,000s sending out direct mail. You get a whole bunch of phone calls. You make some offers, and bang, you buy a house. Now, maybe how you do it, it doesn't matter whether you have cash or a hard money loan, or you take a normal rehab loan. There's some restrictions on how you do it, but it doesn't matter. For that's different discussion for a different day. Right now, we're going to assume that we buy it, and now we're going to fix it up. Now we can either do it ourselves, where we swing the hammer ourselves, or we do hire a contractor. Right? I personally hire contractors for everything. Sometimes my wife and I will landscape, right, or paint the shutters, but most of the time we just hire everything out. We've even got a professional paint sprayer in the garage. We don't use it anymore because we hire professional painters, because it's worth the money. They're better than we are, and we get a better return on our cash than if we do it ourselves. Because guess what? It's an opportunity cost. I could be making money doing something else instead of painting, when I really should just be paying somebody else who's good at that. They're faster, and in the end, it costs me less money. All right. So when you do the fix and flip, you can either do it yourself or you hire a contractor. Once you're done, you put it on the market and you sell it and you make a profit. Don't forget to pay your taxes. So if you make $30,000, $40,000 on the flip, pay some taxes on that, and and now you got your income. Does $30,000 or $40,000 sound like a lot of money? First time I heard that, I said, "Wow, that's ridiculous. I can't believe it's that much." On the other hand, that's about right, because if you aren't going to get $30,000 or $40,000 on a flip, you probably don't want to do the deal. Because if you're projecting to only make $15,000, and all of a sudden you find a $10,000 repair hidden in the crawl space that you had not anticipated, suddenly you're doing that rehab for free, and you don't want to be doing that. So always make sure that you got a really good cushion in there if you do that. We've done several of those. Lost money on one, made money on all the others. It's a great way to make some money in the real estate world. Fix and flip. All right. How about mobile home parks? I've never owned a mobile home or a mobile home park. I know a lot of people do. They call them little boxes that spit out money. They're like ATM machines. Uh, I'll take your word for it. It sounds great. I do know a few people who've owned them, but I've never done it myself. Also, in addition to mobile home parks, you might have senior living facilities. Wow, think about that. Baby boomers, huge generation. They're looking for places where they can go and maybe not have to worry about mowing the lawn or going in their crawl space or in their attic or taking care of the house anymore. They want somebody else to do it. And oh, by the way, hang out with their friends and have things to do. Senior living facilities don't necessarily mean like hospice or like medical care. It's just somewhere where they go, hey, I live here. Everything's taken care of. I don't have to cook anymore unless I want to, right? Things like that. So it's a really neat opportunity. There are the number of things you can do in the real estate space as an investor. It just boggles the mind. There's just so many. I mean, people have, how about rehab clinics? Like, people go rehabilitation for ex-cons. There are people who will have a house and they bring in, people who've been released from jail, and they let them live there, halfway houses, until they get back on their feet. Incredible way to make some money. How about Section 8, housing choice vouchers, as we call them around here? What a great way to make money from the government, where you help people who need government assistance to pay their rent. It's great. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. And this is just to wet your whistle. The point of this is, don't try to do them all. If you try to do them all, it's going to get really, really hard. Pick one and start from there. Now, once you say, single family, where am I going to buy? Anywhere. Wrong answer. What you want to say is, I want to buy single family homes with 3 or 4 bedrooms on 1 or 2 stories in the city of Norfolk, Virginia, but not this neighborhood and not that neighborhood, preferably this one. Not on the water, not in a flood zone, on a slab, not in a crawl, window AC units, not central air, with a driveway and a garage. And if you nail it down like that, all of a sudden you know exactly what you're looking for. You're going to know how much it costs. Your numbers are going to be tight. You're going to be good at this, and you're going to make more money faster doing it that way. So pick your niche, and don't be afraid to get really, really tight on it. It's you're going to see huge benefits. Biggest mistake we made was casting this huge wide net. Single family home, anywhere, anything that makes me money. Duplex, quadplex, I don't care. I'll take anything. Terrible idea. Get good at something. Once you're really good at it, then maybe you can expand. All right. If you have any questions, give me a call.